What's the problem? What's the problem? Somebody killed my parents. Pardon me? Somebody killed my parents.
I'm just a normal kid.
Oh, Eric, you're a normal kid who killed your parents.
Yeah, I know.
35 years spent behind bars, and now Eric and Lyle Menendez's family may finally see them walk free just in time for Thanksgiving.
That their actions, while tragic, were the desperate response of two boys trying to survive the unspeakable cruel.
The district attorney's recommendation to reconsider their life sentences has sparked a powerful new hope for a reunion.
I don't think that they deserve to be in prison until they die, okay? I don't believe that.
But doubts linger as political undertones threaten to shift this potential miracle into heartbreak. Tune in, because this decision could either reunite or shatter this family's hope. The buzz was electric. After 35 long years, could Eric and Lyle finally be coming home? For decades, the family clung to hope, waiting for someone, anyone, to see that these two deserved a second shot at life. Now, at last, it seemed like their prayers might be answered. Imagine it, the possibility of having them home by Thanksgiving, a time already filled with joy and 3 family birthdays. But this time, would the celebration be complete, or would hope to crash down in heartbreaking disappointment? Officials taking a second look at the case seemed like a bold, brave move. But one question loomed. Would this end in tears of joy, or just more tears? The answer felt so close, yet so painfully out of reach.
What did you do to your brother?
I took him out to the woods. Whenever I felt, I don't know, I took him out sometimes, and I took a toothbrush also, and I played with Eric in the same way.
The media had poured gasoline on the fire. Recent documentaries and coverage brought new details, new perspectives. Public awareness had skyrocketed, and the family's hope refused to fade. Was this really it? Was a miracle finally about to unfold? And then there's the bigger picture. If this case could get a second look, what about others? Could this be the start of something bigger? A real change in how we see justice? The stakes felt enormous, the potential for change both thrilling and terrifying. Would we see second chances become the new normal? Then there's the district attorney, right at the center of this mess. He says Eric and Lyle were victims.
There are people in this office that believe that they were never molested. I don't quite agree with that.
That's a pretty big deal, but not everyone on his team is on board. And when Natasha was asked, she stood strong, backing Eric and Lyle all the way. She said the new evidence makes their case even stronger. They've been telling the truth all along. In her eyes, there's no room left for doubt. It's time for these two to come home to those who never gave up on them. Kyle talked about how Eric and Lyle are dealing with it all. Cautious hope, he said. After 35 years, they've learned not to let their hopes soar too high. They know the agony of having those hopes shattered. Progress has been slow, painfully slow, but Kyle remains optimistic. He believes they'll come home, that they'll be embraced by those who've been waiting. Lyle and Eric's wish is simple: to come back, to finally reconnect with the people who have stood by them. And what about Tamara? When asked about the district attorney's claim that recent media coverage swayed him, she had a lot to say. She pointed out that young people today see things differently. They watched the documentaries, they read the stories, and they saw the cracks. This generation understands violence isn't bound by gender. They know the truth.
Fairly did not understand that men could be victimized just as much as women.
In the 1990s, society dismissed men as victims, and it was wrong. Now, they're challenging those old biases, demanding answers, demanding justice. They're not afraid to question everything we thought we knew. In times like this, it's obvious. New voices have power. The fresh energy brought to an old case has shaken things up, but this fight is far from over. Every step forward feels heavier now, every move more crucial. One wrong turn and everything could fall apart. Could this really be the moment that changes everything? Or will the weight of the past prove too much to overcome? In a tense gathering, Mark Gaga stood with Cliff Gardner and Alex Kazarian, all speaking up for Lyle and Eric Menendez. Right next to them was Brian Fredman.
Eric and Lyle have been through so much in 35 years, but these family members have been through so much for 35 years.
There on behalf of the family, showing a rare united front. Together, they all thanked the district attorney. But was it sincere? Some people are already whispering that this decision has some political strings attached. Mark was quick to push back, saying their motion for a new hearing came way before election talk even started. Still, the timing feels too perfect, doesn't it? Judge Ryan's call for an official response lit a fire under this case, making people wonder, is a new chapter about to begin for the Menendez brothers? Joan wanted her story out there, and she wasn't about to let anyone forget her side.
But looking back, I can see the fear and tension that their father had instilled on them. They were just children.
Since taking on this case with Cliff a year and a half ago, we've heard plenty about Kitty. But as their lawyer, it's my job to stand up for all of them, including Lyle and Eric. And yes, some might doubt my words, but make no mistake, the whole family wants Lyle and Eric back home. They've waited long enough. Today marks a huge step in that direction. The district attorney has started the process of rethinking their sentencing. The paperwork is already in at the Clara Shortridge Fultz Criminal Courts building, and now it's up to the judge. Sure, the district attorney's recommendation matters, but it's just that, a recommendation. The real power lies with the judge, and the clock is ticking. If there's a hearing, and let's be real, nothing is guaranteed. Everyone here will have a chance to speak, and they won't hold back. Bring Lyle and Eric home. After 35 long years, the family is ready. But is the system ready to listen? Meanwhile, we're standing in an air-conditioned room that's a lot cooler than the DA's office, where it was noticeably warmer, both in temperature and tension. From now on, our focus will be on sharing all the positive things the brothers have done over the years. Even after the Ninth Circuit Court crushed their appeals back in 2005, they didn't give up. They found ways to make a difference, starting green space projects, staying close with family. But will any of that matter to the judge? Could they be home by Thanksgiving? It's a real possibility. We expect a fair hearing soon, but there's still a lot of talk about politics in the DA's office. Word is, not everyone there sees things the same way. Some say it's all about politics, but the important thing is, we're finally talking about whether the original sentence was just too harsh. Over the last several years, especially under the current DA, there's been a push to look again at old sentences. Hundreds of cases have been reviewed, 300 to be exact. Of those, 28 were people convicted of the most serious crimes. The result? Only 4 have gotten into trouble again, and none of it was violent. Seems like change is possible after all, doesn't it? This outcome shows that people can grow, even after the worst mistakes. The programs set up by the DA have made a difference, even if the media doesn't always get it. If the real goal is to help people become better and not just lock them away, then programs like the Green Space Project are key. Inspired by Norway, it's built on the idea that most prisoners will one day come back to society. The hope is to stop future crimes before they happen. Even in the darkest places, there's a light. But is anyone willing to see it? One of the most shocking parts of these rehabilitation efforts is the level of support they're getting from senior correctional officers. In my 40 years of legal work, I've almost never seen such a strong endorsement. High-ranking officials actually backing resentencing, and not just backing it, they're saying they'd be glad to have people like Lyle and Eric as their neighbors. Seriously, neighbors? That's unheard of. It's clear that the DA's work is making a huge impact. This shift is more than just a policy change. It's a shift in mindset. We're talking about seeing inmates as people who can change, rather than labeling them as criminals forever. But it's not just about what the officials think. Look at the families of victims here today. They've come from miles away, many at the drop of a hat, and their presence says something powerful, a shared desire for closure, healing, and maybe, just maybe, a system that believes in second chances.
If Lyle and Eric's case were heard today, with the understanding we now have about abuse and PTSD, there is no doubt in my mind that their sentencing would have been very different.
Take Joan, for instance. Her story blows my mind. After everything she's been through, she still found the strength to forgive. She believes in the potential of these young offenders to turn things around. If Joan can see the good in them, what excuse does anyone else have not to? The DA's approach, backed by the community and correctional letters, is about more than just law and order. It's about creating a place where former inmates can have a real shot at life, and in turn, strengthen the entire community. But is everyone ready for that? Let's dig a little deeper here. The case was initially marked as an elimination. But hold on, were they actually charged with elimination and an extra severe offense? Well, that extra charge just vanished. Now it's simply down to elimination. But why is that? Is that why we're suddenly looking at 50 years to life instead of life without parole? And what exactly is the judge basing this resentencing on? California law allows sentences for crimes committed before 1990 to be revisited, sure, but what's really going on behind the scenes? The DA says they're dropping that extra charge that stopped the possibility of regular life with parole. Honestly, that seems like the best possible outcome here. But if the judge looks at this closely enough, could we be talking about dropping it to voluntary manslaughter? Maybe, especially if the defense pulls the self-defense card. It wasn't totally legal, but maybe not totally malicious either. And now, behind the scenes, the family is preparing quietly for a life beyond those walls. But will it really be that simple? Recently, there was a discussion about the chance of the brothers being released and what life might look like for them afterward. The family has even talked about where they might stay, perhaps with a relative, and how they could settle back into daily life. Since the court may decide to allow their release, the family has already put some plans in place to help them rejoin society smoothly. These plans are not being made public at the moment to respect their privacy, but a clear strategy has been set. This strategy has even been shared with the district attorney, which could influence the court's decision on a new sentence.
Now, GMA with more on the LA District Attorney's decision, which could lead to the Menendez brothers' release after more than 34 years in prison.
Even while serving time, both brothers have built lives for themselves. They are married and their wives are financially independent. On top of that, Lyle is pursuing a master's degree while Eric is finishing his undergraduate studies. Both brothers have stayed dedicated to their education, showing they're committed to building a positive future. Their family has also been there for them throughout, giving them strong support to help them succeed during this transition. There's a question about whether they will continue their work on prison reform if they're released. It turns out they are both involved in a project at Donovan State Prison called the Green Space Project. This project is focused on making the prison environment better and encouraging good behavior among inmates. The brothers have played a major role in the project's success, showing their desire to make a positive difference even within the prison system. With their ongoing work, educational efforts, and family support, there's a lot of hope for what they could accomplish if given the chance to return to society. Eric isn't just painting alone. He's also guiding others in the community to help with the murals, creating a team effort that brings pride to the neighborhood. It's not just about adding color, it's about bringing life, spirit, and creativity to a place that really needs it. At the same time, Lyle, who recently finished his college degree, is now working on his master's in urban planning. With fresh ideas, he has started an impressive project for the community. Lyle is designing public spaces that fit naturally with the area's hills, slopes, and different levels of ground. He's thinking carefully about how these spaces can benefit everyone, especially older folks, by creating areas that are easy to move around in and relaxing to visit. Lyle's design isn't just focused on looks. He wants these spaces to improve health and happiness in the community. By studying how the landscape can help people feel more comfortable and connected, he's making a plan that's both thoughtful and refreshing. Eric and Lyle are committed to making a real change, not just decorating walls or planning parks. Their goal is to help their town feel like a place where people are happy and proud to live. This dedication, they feel, has grown over time as they pour themselves into projects that reflect their hard work and desire to give back to their community. It's clear they won't be stopping anytime soon, and their excitement to help their neighborhood is stronger than ever. There's a deeper story to Eric and Lyle's journey, one that shows just how far they've come. Both brothers were once in prison, serving life sentences without parole, but even while facing this tough reality, they stayed positive and kept working to better themselves. In prison, they had C-files, records that showed their behavior and progress. Every action, accomplishment, and assessment was documented. Despite the struggles and limits of prison life, Eric and Lyle's records are exceptional. They stayed out of trouble, avoided conflicts, and worked on their personal growth, showing that they were determined to rise above their circumstances. Each step forward has been hard-won, shaping a future they're determined to reach. This part of their past doesn't hold them back. In fact, it's a huge part of what drives them forward today. They didn't let their situation stop them from becoming the best versions of themselves. Their prison records show just how hard they work to keep a positive attitude and keep improving. Their C-files are proof of their discipline and resilience, qualities that they now bring into their work for the community. They turned what could have been the end of their story into a new beginning, proving that growth and change are always possible.
Today is a day filled with hope for our family. We are here because District Attorney Gascon has taken a brave and necessary step forward by recommending a resentencing for Lyle and Eric.
Their family's support, Their family has been by their side, offering love and encouragement every step of the way. When they first went to prison, family members came to visit whenever they could, sent letters, and did everything possible to keep their spirits up. Now, as Eric and Lyle work to transform their community, their family support is just as strong. Recently, their family traveled on very short notice to be with them in person, showing how much they believe in Eric and Lyle's goals. This kind of love has been essential in helping them stay motivated and stay focused on their mission. With so much attention on Eric and Lyle, there have been some misunderstandings and rumors about them. Some people, like Anderson, have made public comments that don't tell the whole story, or they might have their own reasons for saying what they say. But for those who know Eric and Lyle best, the focus remains on the truth, the positive changes they are creating, and the support of a family that believes in them. There's no need to get distracted by outside opinions or misinterpretations. The facts are clear. These brothers are making a real difference, and they have strong family backing every step of the way. Now think about this. Isn't it inspiring to see people turn their lives around and focus on helping others? Eric and Lyle's journey shows that even the toughest situations can lead to something positive. They are working hard to give their community new life through art and thoughtful planning, and in doing so, they're changing how people see their town and each other. Eric and Lyle's transformation from prisoners to community leaders is a story of resilience, hope, and the strength of second chances. Instead of letting their past define them, they are building a future that reflects their values and their commitment to making a positive impact. Their past experiences, detailed in their exceptional prison records, show their ability to keep moving forward and never lose hope. With the support of their loving family and a community that benefits from their efforts, Eric and Lyle are paving the way for a more connected, vibrant future. Their projects aren't just about murals or planning parks, they represent real change. Eric's colorful paintings brighten up the walls and spark creativity, while Lyle's thoughtful designs make public spaces more inviting and easier for everyone to enjoy. They are redefining what it means to give back, showing their community that everyone has the potential to grow and contribute. Their work inspires others to look beyond appearances and recognize the positive changes that come when people are given a chance to do better. Eric and Lyle's story is a reminder that no matter where you come from or what challenges you face, it's possible to make a positive impact. Eric's colorful murals and Lyle's carefully planned spaces are proof that meaningful change can happen. Together, they're helping their town become a place people are proud to call home, with a little more color and a lot more community spirit. They're committed, they're resilient, and they're surrounded by people who love and believe in them. Isn't it powerful to see what can happen when determination, love, and a sense of purpose come together? Are Eric and Lyle's projects enough to spark real community change, or are they just a start? Comment your thoughts, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring stories.